All right, let's talk about something every developer knows and loves, or, dreads, managing time. We're going to dive into how you can build apps that don't just get the job done, but get it done on time, every single time. I mean, really think about it. Your app is probably running some mission-critical stuff. Loan approvals, insurance claims, you name it. A missed deadline there isn't just a oopsie. It can be a huge compliance risk, a customer service nightmare, or a real hit to the company's wallet. So how do you weave a safety net right into the fabric of your application? While the secret isn't to work harder, it's to change your approach. Instead of hand-coding every complex timer and scheduler from scratch, you can use a platform that's built for this stuff. And today, we're looking at this whole problem through the lens of Launchpad, which is a low-code platform designed for exactly these kinds of tricky, workflow-heavy apps. And the specific tool we're going to zero in on is basically a built-in guardian for your application's timeline. It's called a service level agreement, or you'll just hear me call it an SLA. This is the key to making sure your app keeps the promises you make to your users. Now, what's so important to get is that an SLA in Launchpad isn't some dusty old document. Nope. It is a living, breathing, automated rule inside your application. It clearly defines what on-time actually means, and this is the best part, it knows exactly what to do when things start to fall behind. At its heart, every single SLA is built on three really simple but super powerful ideas. First, you've got the goal. Think of this as the happy path, the ideal time to get something done. Then there's the deadline. This is the drop dead, no more excuses, last possible moment. And finally, you have the magic ingredient, the escalation. That's the automated action that springs to life the second a goal or a deadline gets missed. So how do your users actually see this happening? Well, Launchpad uses a simple concept called urgency. Every task that gets created starts with a base urgency of 10. But as these time-based rules get broken, that number climbs, making it super obvious what needs attention right now on someone's to-do list. And here's where it all just clicks. Let's imagine a loan request. It pops into the system with an urgency of 10. Pretty standard. But, after 3 days, the goal is missed. The SLA automatically kicks in and adds 20 points. Now it's at 30. If it's still sitting there after 5 days, the deadline is officially breached. And bam, it adds another 30. That task is now sitting at an urgency of 60, shining like a beacon on everyone's work list. It's visual, it's simple, and it's totally automatic. That little example right there shows off one of the coolest things about SLAs in Launchpad, their flexibility. You can apply this time-based logic pretty much anywhere in your app, from the 30,000-foot view all the way down to a single piece of data. Let's break that down. First, you can go big picture. You can apply an SLA to an entire case. This is your macro-level promise. For instance, you can say that any insurance claim, from the moment it's submitted to the moment a check is cut, absolutely must be resolved within 30 days. That's the promise to the customer, enforced by the system. But you can also zoom in a level by putting an SLA on a specific stage. So within that 30-day insurance claim, you could have a rule that says the initial compliance review stage has to be wrapped up in just 48 hours. This is how you stop those little milestones from turning into major bottlenecks. And you guessed it, we can get even more granular. We can go right down to an individual task. Maybe an HR onboarding case has a 1-week deadline overall, but the specific task for running a background check, that can have its own tight 3-day SLA. It ensures every little piece of the puzzle keeps moving forward. Now this is where things get really powerful. You can detach SLAs from a workflow entirely and apply them directly to a record in your database. Think about loyalty points that need to expire. You can set an SLA right on the points record itself to automatically trigger an expiration automation after 365 days. This isn't about people doing tasks, it's pure data-driven time management. Okay, so we've covered the what and the where. So how do you actually, build this stuff in Launchpad? This is where that whole low-code thing really starts to pay off. If you were trying to do this from scratch, you'd be writing custom timer logic, building job schedulers, coding notification systems. It's a ton of work. In Launchpad, you're just configuring a rule. Instead of writing code, you're just setting your goal and deadline times. Instead of building a whole email service, you just pick an automation from a drop-down menu. It's a massive, massive time saver. So what happens when a deadline is actually breached? Well, you've got this whole toolkit of actions ready to go. You can do something simple, like just increasing the urgency like we saw before. Or you can get serious, automatically send an email to a manager, reassign the work to a specialized team, or even restart a whole stage if something needs a fresh look. And if you need something totally unique, you can just have it run your own custom automation. Okay, but whenever we talk about all this shiny automation, there's always that little voice in the back of every developer's mind. What happens when the automation itself breaks? Right? Let's say your send email automation fails because the mail server is down. Or maybe there's a bug in one of your custom automations. Does the whole thing just fail silently? Does that critical deadline just get forgotten? Well, in Launchpad, the answer is a big, resounding no. And here's why. There's a built-in safety net. If an SLA escalation fails for any reason, Launchpad automatically creates a special problem remediation case for an admin. That case has all the gory details, the error message, what it was trying to do, everything. The admin can then go fix the root cause, and then, right from that same case, they can just click a button to restart the failed event. Nothing ever gets lost in the shuffle. So, as you can see, SLAs are this incredibly powerful, super flexible, and most importantly, reliable way to make sure your applications meet their most critical deadlines. And this ability to rapidly build and really complex enterprise-grade features is exactly why people are able to move so fast. I mean, this quote from Clay Richardson says it all, right? Taking an idea and turning it into a real live product with paying customers in under 6 weeks, that's the kind of speed we're talking about. So in the end, managing deadlines doesn't have to be this big, scary, custom-coded beast. When you've got the right tools, it just becomes another core, easy-to-configure part of your application's design, which really just leaves one question for you to think about. What's the first critical process you're going to go safeguard? Thanks for tuning in.